Hey guys, what's going on here at Campbell's today? Back with another video. And today guys, we are on Tier Maker, and today we will be teaching you what comps to recycle and what comps not to recycle. So this is kind of purely based on my opinion alone, so don't really get your feelings hurt, and I also would, myself, I'd recommend following what I do. Alright, so let's get started. So basically on the top here you got always recycle, and the bottom don't bother recycling, and in between there's quite a few stuff. Alright, so pipes is a weird one. I like to keep at least a stack at all times. Pipes make rockets, that's really important later in the game, so yeah. Okay, fucking tuna can. Recycle only if you're desperate for metal frags to make a yoga pistol. Pretty much around the only time I'd ever make one. Springs, I like to keep a small. I like to keep at least a stack. Springs are so important. Rifle body, recycle all except when you need it for something specific. Definitely that one. Rifle bodies give you a ton of good stuff, and let me ask you, how many AKs are you crafting even if you're a good sized group, except for later in the life? And every time you do a run, you're probably getting one anyway, so it's really just better to recycle them. Alright, stop signs. Keep a small float. If you want to make road sign armor, you can do it, but really, most of the time, you're either going to be on a hazy, or you're just going all the way to full HQM anyway, so, it's just kind of the way it is. Okay, so rope. It's recycle all except when you need something for specific. The reason it's up there is because all you really need it for is crossies, so after crossies, I almost always recycle all of them. So SMG bodies, never recycle unless you are just spawned in and looting that gas station crate and you get an SMG body and you just spawned in, then it's worth recycling it, but you only recycle it in like really weird circumstances like that, because those things are hard as hell to find on some webs. Alright, starter body, keep a small float, you don't need much. They're really, you can find them pretty easy, so just keep a few around, you know. Sewing kits, I like to keep a stack at all times. The reason I like sewing kits is because they're just instant cloth. When that cloth comes, they give you insane amounts of rope, and you get that all that cloth. Like I said, it's really good, and you need them for the road sign armor. So, and you can't get guaranteed stop signs like you can get. I mean, you can get guaranteed stop signs, but with, you know, running the road and hitting the stop signs. But you can't do that with sewing kits, obviously. Alright, so sheet metal, always recycle. Great scrap. You literally don't need it for anything except for like heavy plate armor, which is absolutely ridiculous. So tarps, definitely and always recycle. The only time you're ever going to need tarps unless you're doing farming, pretty much. And that's about it. So a satchel. Satchels are definitely recycle once to get another blueprint. If you need bean cans to make grenades, that's something that you're going to have to do. So, I mean, that's just the way the satchel is. And it's not that you spend that much to make it, like, comparing it to a C4, for example. Alright, so tech trash. Tech trash is recycle all unless you need it for something specific, or keep a small float. Keep a small float. I like to keep a decent amount of tech trash around because I love hollows. I do not go out with iron sights. Aim cone is terrible, and rust. Alright, so a bear rug, I would just say don't bother recycling, because it's not worth it. You're only going to get like leather, and just put it down in your base and get that 100% comfort. Right, so these are going to be at the same place. I would probably say recycle when you need them for something specific, so just don't recycle them. Alright, and then this, recycle only if you're desperate. Just put it in your base and swivel it around if you really need to, or just throw it on the ground. The only time you're ever going to recycle those things is for just a little bit of metal frags. Same with the rug. Rug gives you like a good amount of cloth, so only recycle it if you have to. Same with salvage shelves, only if you're desperate. It's really not worth recycling any of those items. And same with that. Large planer blocks gives you tarp, so it's pretty good sometimes. Sign, don't bother recycling it. It's just really not worth it, because you can always just head a tree. So a ladder hatch, recycle once to get into the blueprint so you can get a ladder. Definitely in there. So flares are interesting. Never keep a small float. Recycle all except when you need it for something specific. I'd put it in there actually again, because they don't give you that much GP, and unless you're recycling like a large, insane amount of them, you're really not gonna make like a lot of freaking profit. I mean, I guess you do make profit back when you're running like mill tons 24/7 on some of that. So yeah, it's worth recycling if you have like just like overload of it, but they don't give you that much back, like I said. So a rock, never recycle. No, and just don't bother recycling it. Large med kit. Okay, hear me out, right? People are gonna say blah blah blah, you should recycle it. I don't believe so. Here's why. Because I don't think it's worth it for the syringe. I think you should just learn the syringe anyways. And why I say that is because you're gonna need to get the hazy anyways, because with the hazy you can repair hazies, and a lot of the time I find a lot of broken hazies. So that's just something I like to do, and especially in a larger group or a bi-weekly to a monthly server, the fact that you're gonna have to repair hazies comes up a lot more often. So that's just something that I would choose to do. So never recycle, and I would also like to use the large medkit. So rocket, obviously, never recycle a rocket. It's just not worth it. It costs way too much to make, including pipe, sulfur, GP, charcoal. So it's quite a bit. So fuses, definitely like to keep a small amount. Fuses do, you know, all your key card runs. So it's good to have fuses around. You don't want to go out of them and then try to go do something. Alright, so propane tanks. Definitely recycle all except for when you need it for something specific. Propane tanks don't give you good scrap, so that's the thing. They give you like a little bit, but just go ahead and recycle them. And the good thing about propane tanks is they do make flamethrowers, so that's the specific thing that you would want it for. Alright, so C4, never recycle C4, just don't do it. Okay, gears, keep at least a stack at all times. Pretty much in there. I like to keep it kind of in between a small float and a stack. The reason why is gears make garage doors. It's a really important thing to have, and you don't want to not have them when you need them. Something like that. Okay, so blades, keep at least a stack at all times. I never recycle blades. They give you terrible scrap, terrible metal frags. It's just not worth it. And at the end of the day, you're going to need it to craft the salvage ice pick or salvage stacks. And I do not like farming without one. Alright. And this is going to go in the recycle only if you're desperate. Because all of those items you're only ever going to recycle if you really need to. Alright guys, so this is my official tier list of Rust components and what I think you should recycle and not. It's kind of funny how I didn't even use the center one. But I think everything just plays into a role. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be all today. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.